everyone, and thank you for joining us on today's Tech Bites. My name is Kirsten Stoner. I am super excited to be here today and welcome our first timer, Madalina. How are you doing today?
I am doing great, Kirsten. Happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me to Tech Bites.
Yes. So today we have an exciting show for you. We are going to be talking about VeeamON 2022, recapping the event. I know that VeeamON was last week. I'm still recovering from the event. Are you still recovering from the event?
Oh, totally. I'm still jet lagged after all the travels, but it was totally worth it.
Definitely. So getting started, like I mentioned, VeeamON was last week in Las Vegas. We returned to Las Vegas from, I think the last time we were there was in 2015. And we really showcased everything that Veeam had to offer, some new products, some new features, what's coming in the new version. Madalina, I know it was your first time at VeeamON. How was your experience?
Yes, this was actually my first VeeamON conference, and I must say it was such a great experience. And for the ones that don't know what VeeamON is, we should let them know VeeamON is the global user and partner conference where you can discover what's next in modern data protection. And Kirsten, I got to meet so many engaging people. I finally met members of our community. That was awesome. Of course, there was so much interesting content shared throughout the conference. And I had a working role in the Cube area, so I got to work with SiliconANGLE TV and the Cube team. They are the world leader in enterprise tech media. Dave Vellante, David Nicholson, great names, and met all the executives that were interviewed. That was awesome as well. And must say the party was legendary. What do you think about that, Kirsten?
Yeah, Veeam never disappoints with its legendary party. It was at the Dre's nightclub. It had a great view over the city. We had Nelly and Coolio. I know I am a huge Nelly fan. I loved hearing from Coolio. It's been a while since I've listened to him. So it was such a great vibe. Great vibe. I'm still like reeling off the fact of Nelly and Coolio. It's really brought me through the whole entire week.
Yeah, totally. I definitely recommend the VeeamON experience. So in 2023, we're going to have our VeeamON in Miami, and I'm super excited to go to Miami, Kirsten. You've been there for a VeeamON, right? How was that?
Yeah, VeeamON in Miami was a great experience back in 2019. And during that conference, I got to talk. I had a session about VeeamON, which is one of my favorite products that Veeam has. And I also got to talk about VeeamON at VeeamON in Vegas as well. So VeeamON in 2022 was a hybrid event. So we had in-person and virtual sessions covering product updates and features. So we had some great keynote sessions that took place during the event. We opened up VeeamON with hearing from our CEO, Anand. And this session talked about business resilience and really eliminating data loss and downtime, really focusing on security and protecting your data from ransomware. And this was a strong theme throughout the event, as this is something that's top of mind for every business and IT leader today. Another general session that we focused on, or we talked about, or was part of the event, was the technical keynote. And this keynote had live demos that demonstrated Veeam Backup for Microsoft 365, Veeam Disaster Recovery Orchestrator, VeeamON, and Veeam Backup and Replication version 12. Madalina, what did you think about the technical general session?
It was a really great session, but my favorite thing to see was the direct to object storage in action. I know that this is something our customer have been asking for, and I believe Rick did a great job demonstrating this on the main stage, right?
Yeah, that was a great demo. I know customers have been asking for that for a while, and it's really awesome to be able to send backups now directly to object storage without having to put them on-prem first. So yeah, that was definitely very great to see. And it has also, one of my favorite things to see was also Veeam backup for Salesforce, just because we use Salesforce every day and we store a lot of data there. And being able to see Veeam being able to protect that data is really awesome and actually shows how far Veeam has come in its innovating innovating its products for our customers. So backup from Microsoft 365 and Kasten K10 was also shown on the stage. So it was really cool to see the self-service restore portal in action, as well as hear about Kasten K10. But that was just on the main stage. There were so many breakout sessions that took place during the event itself that showcased many of Veeam's products and features. Madalina, did any of the sessions stick out to you during the event?
Yes, totally. There were so many good sessions, but I really enjoyed watching the Ask Me Anything with Veeam's product team. Um, these are available on the virtual event platform, but it is also interesting, to hear from our R&D team. And additionally, the demo sessions that were available really showcased Veeam's products in action, and I learned so much from watching them. So yeah.
Yeah, I love seeing demos of our products. It's so much better than just watching a couple slides go across the screen. Really seeing the products in action is really where I get the best, like get the most excited about it, I guess you would say.
Yeah,
Besides the general
absolutely.
session, yeah. Besides the general sessions and the breakout sessions, we also had other activities that were happening at VeeamON. I know the Cube was there and that you took a part of that. Can you tell us a little bit more about what was discussed on the Cube?
Yes, of course. We had 2 days of interviews with really great conversations. And we had executives from our partner companies like AWS, Google, Pure Storage, VMware, Wasabi, Island, so many others that talked about their strategies and the partnerships between them and Veeam. But clearly my favorite ones were the sessions with our executives. So let me just go over a little bit those sessions. We had Anand. He was the one starting the Cube, opening the Cube sessions, and he was talking about the reason he joined Veeam, how his personal philosophy blends with Veeam's philosophy, how the customer is the center of everything, and how innovative is the culture of Veeam, and the huge focus on purpose, diversity, inclusion, um, the great execution at Veeam, and how we are looking, how Veeam is looking into shaping the future of backup and replication. And creating a multi-dimensional partnership strategy. All that interview was really, really inspiring, Kirsten. By the way, did you know that Veeam has an NPS of 80?
No, I didn't know that.
That is really huge. It's like, as a comparison, Apple has a 76, 77 NPS. That means that we are doing great when it comes to customer satisfaction and loyalty. Um,
That's awesome. Wasn't Danny, the CTO, on the Cube as well?
Yes, he was actually. We had him in two different sessions, one by himself and one he was joining Opi Bakare. And he went deeper into the technical side of the things. He was just giving like an overview of the keynote that was brilliant. By the way, I totally recommend everyone to watch that. You can go to veemon.com for that. And then he speaks about VeeamON, your favorite product, Kirsten, um, and how this is a differentiator for Veeam and how this product is helping our customer find issues before they actually become issues. So pretty good conversation in there. And then he had a really interesting conversation with Dave Vellante about the concept of super cloud and the edge computing. Really interesting concept in there. And something really stuck with me from what he said, that we're going to need modern data protection in 5 years from now, but that modern will translate different from today. So that was also like pretty interesting to hear. And then when he was joining Opi Bakare from the CTO of HBC, they were talking about digital transformation, cloud acceleration, data protection, and how security is actually playing a role in all these. Of course, the partnership with Veeam, and Veeam has been HBC's data protection engine for some time now. So I thoroughly enjoyed that conversation, Kirsten.
Yeah, it's always nice to see how our customers are using Veeam products in their environment. There's so much you can learn by seeing and hearing our customers in action and what they're doing with Veeam and how we're keeping their data protected.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had as well Michael Cade speaking about the evolution of Kubernetes and K10 and the modern data protection for containers.
That's
that
so
was
great
as well.
Yeah, that's so great that Michael got to talk about Kubernetes on the Cube. I know containers is something that a lot of people are looking into going and moving into. And when I'm at events and there is a container session or a Kubernetes session, I'm always like, I should probably attend that one because I'll definitely be learning something. But sessions that I always like to attend also are ones about ransomware and cyber attacks. So I think that Dave Russell and Jason Buffington also were on the Cube talking about that. Can you tell us a little bit more?
Yes, Dave Russell and Jason Buffington, they had both great sessions at the Cube, and they talked about their philosophy around the research and the analysis, and how they try to understand what the market really thinks in order to drive strategy from that data. And then there was an interesting conversation around ransomware and, of course, the 2022 ransomware trends report, which, by the way, I highly recommend it. This is for sure like the industry's largest report available at the moment. And I must say that this report helps Veeam to understand where the industry is moving, what customers are looking for next, and of course, where Veeam should focus its innovations. And let me just go a bit deeper into this 2022 ransomware trends report, Kirsten. I would like to just highlight a few things on the report. The study showed that only 24% of businesses were not attacked by ransomware, or at least they were unaware of an attack. And 16% were already attacked once in 2021. 60% were attacked twice or more in 2022. That's really huge. And of those attacked, of those companies that were attacked, 47% of data was successfully encrypted, and of the encrypted data, only 64% was recoverable. That means that the average victim loses 17% of their data per attack. So yeah, one more thing that I would like to mention is just like 1 out of 4 companies that were not yet attacked. But Jason Buffington said something that I found it very interesting, that usually it takes up to 200 days to find out that the bad guys are in your environment. So who knows how many of these 1 out of 4 are actually going to be attacked in the next period of time, right? Yeah. But you know what? There is so much more interesting information on this study. So I would just advise people to go to vee.am/RW22 just to get the full report. And of course, don't miss on Tech Bites with Dave Russell and Jason Buffington in the next few weeks. They will analyze all that data from the report. That's pretty exciting. And last but not least, I highly recommend you watch the Cube sessions. If you haven't had the opportunity already, that's a total gem. So just go to thecube.net/VeeamON-2022, and you will get all of the VeeamON 2022 Las Vegas sessions in there. So yeah, that's about it. My Cube experience and some highlights of the 2022 ransomware report, Kirsten.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think it's interesting to see that 60% of businesses were actually attacked twice that were surveyed. That's crazy. So that's some good statistics. Well, some good data, I would say, to learn from.
Yeah, I'm sure Dave Russell and Jason Buffington has more in store. So that's why I was saying just go and watch Tech Bites in the next few weeks. And you know what? It's worth mentioning that there were over 30 exhibitors and sponsors in the expo hall that included partners and service providers. And I'm going to just mention a few names. Unfortunately, I can't mention everyone right now, but we had AWS, Pure Storage, Cisco, VMware, Google, HP, and so many others. And Kirsten, we have been mentioning OnDemand Sessions many times already. Would you be able to show us how to access OnDemand Sessions?
Yes, of course I will. So accessing on-demand sessions is easy. All you have to do is go to VeeamON.com, and it will take you to our VeeamON website, and you click Watch Now. And so if you have already registered for the event, whether it was you attended in person or virtually during the time of the event, all you would have to do is log in here with your name, email address, and you'll be able to get to the event website. If you haven't registered yet, you still have time to register for the event and get access to this free content to learn a little more about Veeam. So let's just log in here, and I will get a verification code set to my phone. Let me just type this in. And this will take me into our event website here. And if I go to On-Demand Sessions, I will be able to access all the sessions on this platform here. So we do have our virtual sessions available, and some in-person sessions as well have been uploaded to this website. I know that the in-person ones are still being uploaded and will be all up there soon so that you can get access to them. Some of the ones that I've actually come in here and already watched are the demo sessions, just because I love seeing demos and seeing how the product is in action. I've actually watched some of the interviews with a product manager. Those were really interesting. And I don't want to not talk about VeeamON V12 preview as I already watched this. This is the first one I watched, and Melissa and Fedor did a great job talking about what was coming in V12. If you're a Veeam backup for Microsoft 365 user, definitely check out this one as well, because I know there's some integrations coming in also. And then we do have a V12 overview session on the platform also, if you want to learn what's coming from Veeam and what you can expect in that new product release coming up. So some really exciting stuff. Now, how long will they have access to these on-demand sessions?
The sessions I believe, are going to be available until the end of July. So, just make sure to register by then if you want to watch it. But I would recommend you to register and log into the on-demand experience by July 19. So just keep that in mind, July 19, because you get the chance to win a paid trip to VeeamON Miami 2023. How cool is that, Kirsten?
That is cool. I would love to win a free trip to Miami. Too bad I can't enter. I can just hope that my sessions and my content ideas will get approved in time so that I get to see you guys all again in
Yeah, absolutely.
Miami.
And if you want more information on that, that's available at veeamon.com. So people can just go there and can just get more information about how they can enter this this chance to win the trip.
Yes, so cool. Make sure if you haven't done that yet to head over to the website and do that. And just some additional resources that we have for you. We talked about the Cube. Here's the link written to the Cube. We talked about our ransomware trends report. Here is the link to that to register to be able to download that report. And also check out the Veeam blog. We like to write about everything. And if you're more of a reader than a watcher, the Veeam blog is definitely the place to go to find all the new up-to-date information about what's coming from Veeam. And, you know, I didn't put on here, but VeeamON.com, that's where you need to go to get all the content that you want to see. And just don't forget about it. One of the best parts about VeeamON was just seeing you guys again. Veeam has a great community around us. I love talking to our customers, our partners, our Veeam Vanguards, and our legends. Just being able to see you all together again, hearing from you what you want Veeam to incorporate in its products, some of the features that you use every day, whether it be, you know, data labs or even sending your backups to object storage. Just hearing your experiences with the product is just so awesome to hear. And everything from Lab Wars to the Veeam Legendary Party was a great experience. And I hope that it makes you want to come back and meet us again in Miami, Florida, 22nd to the 25th of 2023. And speaking of the community, we do have a community hub where you can get all access to information about Veeam. Madalina, do you want to talk a little bit more about this?
Yes, of course. So our community, as you can see, they are already talking about VeeamON 2023 in Miami. There are already like 12 votes that they're going to be in person at the event. The event is going to be, as Kirsten said, May 22nd to May 25th. So just save the dates and just go to our community page, community.veeam.com, or just use the QR on the slide to join the conversation and vote on this awesome survey that our community created. And on the community page, you can also find great technical content and help from our community if you have any questions regarding Veeam products or new features. So yeah, hope to see you in the community.
Yes, I love the Community Hub. It's a great place to go for more information about anything Veeam related. So just wrapping up our show, if we didn't get to meet you at VeeamON in 2022, we hope to see you at VeeamON 2023. Also, if you weren't able to attend, make sure you check out those on-demand sessions as well. As a reminder, we have no show coming Monday due to the U.S. holiday, but we will be back in action with Rick and Melissa on Friday, June 3rd, to tell you why disaster recovery to the cloud is no joke, and why having a tested business continuity plan is more important than ever. And then on Monday, June 6th, Industry Insights will be back, and it will resume its series with the Ransomware Trends Report and its findings. So join Jason Buffington and David Russell for that at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who has joined us today for our stream. Madalina, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Kirsten. It was a pleasure.
Awesome. And have a good weekend, everybody.